Hey everyone, this is Jordan Romano, and welcome to the Phillies Show.
Hi everybody, Ruben Amaro Jr., Jim Salisbury, Todd Zwolecki. It's the Phillies Show. It's Thursday. I was going to say February.
It's
May
still
15th.
May. Still May 15th.
It's May 15th, 2025, as far as I know. How are you guys this morning?
Dandy.
Like February, we don't see the sun anymore.
Oh my god.
Oh my God! Yesterday it was brutal. The last couple days were brutal. I was appreciative though on Tuesday of the early postponement, so I didn't have to drive down to the ballpark, sit there for 4 hours, and then have the game get postponed. But the Phillies played a doubleheader on Wednesday. They split. Win game 1-2-1. Game 2, not so good. Not so good. They lose 14-7.
Not so good.
Not so good. They lose 14-7 to the Cardinals, and guys, I think what's on everybody's mind is Aaron Nola's latest performance. You know, he starts 0-5, 6.45 ERA. His first 5 starts. His last 4, 3.33 ERA. He had those 2 really good starts against the Cubs on the road. At home against the Diamondbacks, just sitting there going, okay, maybe he's kind of through this. And then boom, last night, it was the worst start of his career. The worst start of Aaron Nola's 11-year career. Gives up a career high, 12 hits, a career high, 9 runs, ties a career high, 3 home runs allowed, in 3 2/3 innings. Are we right back to square one? Are you guys worried that Nola is right back to square one?
I don't know if he's at square one. He pitched pretty well against 2 good offensive clubs the previous 2 times, but it just, hammers home the point we've known for years that he doesn't have that top of the scale stuff, that he has margin for error. He doesn't have the top of the scale stuff where he can just blow guys away. He's got to be pinpoint, and when he makes a mistake over the plate, he's going to get hurt. And he got hurt in the 3rd and 4th innings yesterday. There were times in the 3rd inning it looked like, they were taking some swings like they knew what was coming. He's got to be precise at the bottom of the zone, on the edges, and if he doesn't have it that day, if he doesn't have his finesse game that day, he doesn't have the stuff to get away with it. He leads the majors in innings pitched and starts since the start of the 2017 season. Leads, in innings, like well over 1,400 innings, leads the majors by like 85 innings, which is a significant bit. And it's a testament to his durability, testament to his toughness and how good he is. He takes the ball, has success, stays in games. That is a heavy, heavy workload since the start of 2017. And, when I look at Andrew Painter percolating down there in AAA, and we think about, okay, how they're going to fit Andrew Painter in there. Well, they're going to go to a 6-man, a modified 6-man, maybe to make Zach Wheeler stay close to his day. I think Aaron Nola is going to benefit from that a lot because they're going to look to prioritize extra rest for him because he's pitched well on extra rest before, and because he's 32 years old now with a high workload. It's right there, bears it out right in the stats. And if they're going to try to optimize him for October, they're going to have to get him more rest so he pitches, get him pitching better, or else it's not going to be in October for him or even this team. Because if he's not off to this terrible start, where are they in the standings? I think the Mets are looking up at him, right? At them.
That's probably true. Obviously Nola. I think in the early part of the season, the stuff wasn't there. He didn't have the velocity, didn't have the zip, didn't have the finish on his pitches. Yesterday's concerned me because there were times when he has been tipping pitches as well, and it almost felt like it was a combination of his stuff being in the middle of the plate and them knowing what pitches were being thrown. That's how much damage that the Cardinals did against them. Not using it as an excuse for the guy, but it seemed like they just weren't going to miss. Didn't matter what he was flipping up there, and I know that Rob Thomson gets a little quote unquote paranoid about guys tipping pitches, and it just felt like one of those games where it didn't matter what he could throw in the kitchen sink up there, was going to get whacked. So that concerns me a little bit. Maybe it is also something that they can remedy, which would be a good thing. But his overall stuff, just not quite as crisp as it has been in the past. And again, you're right, Jim. He's going to have to be perfect, and he's going to have to be a little bit more pinpoint with his stuff. He's always had to be that way, but I think he's going to have to be like that a little bit more so now, with some of the stuff being down generally overall.
Well, I think like the first home run he allowed was a fastball. It was just over 90. It was up and out of the zone, but a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. I mean, big league hitters are like salivating at that. And then I think the second one, maybe it was to Burleson, was a fastball, just over 90 miles an hour on the outer half of the plate, and pulls it to right field for a home run. He gave up six 2-strike hits
that was
last
terrible.
night. On Wednesday night, 6 2-strike hits. He has given up 27 2-strike hits this season. That's the second most in baseball, believe it or not. Chris Sale leads baseball with 29 2-strike hits, but and Nola kind of knows that. He says my put away pitches just were not there last on Wednesday night. And, that's a concern as well. He's just not getting the swing and miss. Jim, you talked about it. He's not able to finish anybody, put anybody away. And those 2-strike hits are killers. I mean, that was remember that was a big thing a few years ago, a lot of 2-strike 0-2, 1-2 home runs that he allowed. But last night it was just, single, double. None of the home runs were 2-strike home runs. It was all the singles and doubles that he allowed.
You mentioned tipping if he's tipping pitches, Romano was tipping pitches, they need to make an adjustment, because this is the big leagues. And, you can go to work on the opposing pitcher and find little tendencies. Well, you better be going to work on your own pitchers and finding tendencies. So I find it a little hard to believe he was tipping pitches. I find it more hard to believe his stuff is just not that good. And this is stuff that big league hitters just demolish, because they train for stuff these days. In the cages, the high velo, the high spin, they train for this. They're geared for this. And that's what I see. And I just think I feel for the guy, because there's no more honest, earnest person in that clubhouse who cares more about the Phillies, cares more about doing a good job for the fans, cares more about the city, cares more about the organization, works harder. And it just seems like he's a human being, and at some point the workload does catch up with you. And I just wonder, it feels like we're seeing that right in front of our eyes, and it makes me worried for the remainder of the contract, frankly, because it's a long way to go. But in the short term, they need this guy to turn it around, because the stakes are so high. They need him to figure out what he can do with what he has. And I have confidence he can do that, because we saw it the previous 2 starts. He's a smart pitcher. He can be crafty. He can get by. He's got to figure it out.
He's gonna have to figure out when his stuff is down, when he's throwing a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, how am I gonna work my way through at least 5 innings of this? What formula is gonna work for me when I don't have that stuff that he had, the 3 or 4 prior starts where his stuff was sharper. And it may not be tipping pitches. It may just be the overall stuff and leaving stuff in the middle of the plate. Who knows? But I agree with you as far as accountability is concerned. I mean, he's super accountable, and you feel for him, but they're going to have to get better production out of him because it just puts too much pressure on their bullpen, especially when you're pitching in the second game of a doubleheader, as it turned out yesterday.
It was clear, Ruben and Todd, that Rob was banking on Aaron Nola to have a good one, because he used all his leverage guys in the first leverage bullpen guys, his top guys in the first game to nail that baby down. And you know what? You got to win the game at hand. He used his leverage guys, and he wasn't going to use them in game 2. He was banking on Nola taking him deep. And after those previous 2 starts, why not? And it didn't happen.
Okay, so hold that thought. We're going to come back. I want to finish that thought right after these words.
Hey, for the card collectors out there, you need to know about Arena Club. You can check out our showrooms. We've all got cards in there. You can buy, you can sell, you can trade, and you can rip packs. They're called slab packs, Kratz. And then what happens if you don't like what you pulled?
You get an instant offer. But before you get that instant offer, you can show your showroom around, kind of like when I used to put the cards in the sleeves and my buddies would come over and show them. Now, bang, show them on the phone. Instant offers right there if I need it.
Yep, that instant offer is for the estimated fair market value. Accept it on the spot. Acquire the best value for your money with slab packs, transparent checklists, and Arena Club's Slab Safe program. Whether you're buying, selling, trading, grading, or ripping packs, Arena Club is the safest, most trusted in the game. Right now, you can get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/foul and use code FOUL. That's arenaclub.com/foul, code FOUL.
We are back. Last month, guys, we ran a contest for a Manco and Manco gift card. All you had to do was follow us on X, and I forgot last week to announce the winner. So Riley McKeever, you follow us on X. Riley, you won a Manco and Manco gift card. We're going to send one out to you. We will be reaching out to you soon. But guys, we got more Manco. Manco, of course, you know, it's known for its awesome pizza on the boardwalk, down on the shore, and at the ballpark. Sure. It's a partnering with the Phillies show to give away a gift card each month between now and October. This month, simply follow us on Instagram at the Phillies show. Follow us at the Phillies show on Instagram, and in the comments, put down your favorite moment from this season for a chance to win a Manco and Manco gift card. I got a stack of them on my desk right here.
Ooh, I know where you live. I might go get a couple.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. But let's finish the thought on Taiwan Walker, because that was a thing I think that frustrated a lot of Phillies fans on Wednesday night, and I get it. So in the third inning, when Aaron Nola is getting hit around, I said to myself, we're not long before we see Taiwan Walker in this game. We are not long. Well, Aaron Nola goes out, starts the fourth inning, and gives up a home run. I think it was to Mason Wynn to start the fourth. He gave up a home run to start the fourth, and then two more runs score. Tanner Banks finally comes in, finishes the inning, pitches the fifth, and then Taiwan Walker comes in. Didn't totally blow me away that Aaron Nola started the fourth, Jim, because like you said, they used their high leverage guys in game one. And I'm sitting there going, all right, they really need to push Nola, because now if they get into a one-run situation, they have a two-run lead, they really have to kind of manage how they're going to work this. But were you guys surprised that Aaron Nola started the fourth? I'm guessing, Jim, you're not. Ruben, were you surprised? Did you think he should have been out of that game after that third inning when he got knocked around pretty hard?
Under normal circumstances, yes. Under these circumstances, back end of the doubleheader, no. Just because of what you said, Todd. I mean, I think they're just trying to get him to get through as many innings as possible. Maybe he can have a quick inning and grab another inning, because he knew at some point he was going to get Taiwan Walker in there. Didn't want to get him there so early. It was sort of like the same situation. I think they wanted to try to get him that 3-inning save, or get him 3 innings, get him 7, 8, 9. Or at least 6, 7, 8. And I think that's the reason why Rob Thomson held on that long. He's really trying to save the rest of his bullpen and to not put guys in danger, number one, and guys in the situations where they weren't prepared to do physically. So I think he was just trying to let Nola eat some more innings, and unfortunately he just couldn't get through it. I mean, he just got bashed around.
Yeah, I thought it was all about the doubleheader. You gotta try to get some innings, because you're playing 2 games in one day. I know you had an off day coming, and Nola, so many of his troubles are that one inning. And maybe in the back of Rob's mind, he's like, okay, we got that out of the way. I'm gonna see if I can get him have an 11 pitch inning, and it didn't happen. They were sniffing out everything he was throwing, man.
Yeah, and Rob said before game one, he said, as he was looking ahead at the doubleheader throughout the day, he says, I will not use a guy in back-to-back games in a doubleheader. So if you take him at his word, that means he didn't have Romano available. He didn't have Kerkering available. Alvarado didn't pitch a full inning, but maybe he wasn't available as well. So now you're looking at the rest of the bullpen. You're going, if there's a lead, a tight game, maybe Taiwan Walker, Matt Strom, and then you're looking at, Carlos Hernandez. And so it makes sense.
Just Todd, just to shift gears, Orion Kerkering, is he getting it together here a little bit? I mean, that was a big. I mean, hey, they split. They didn't win the series, but they got a nice win in game one. Luzardo, another good one. They win when he takes the hill. But Kerkering, another good job.
Yeah, I feel like that was a big one for Kerkering because coming into the season there were so many high expectations on him, and I just felt he's been so inconsistent and so uneven. The first maybe month of the season, 5 weeks of the season, I think he had like a 4.5 ERA, or I think he entered Wednesday with the 4.5 ERA, but he was kind of scuffling. And in his last
3
now 6 appearances, actually, he's allowed 1 run in 5 1/3 innings. So man, if he is kind of figuring some stuff out, that is so big.
So a couple of things to unpack about Kerkering. What was the most exciting part about what Kerkering brought? What do you guys think I was the most fired up about when he was finished with his job yesterday?
They patted him on the fanny. He did his job. That's what it's all about for a reliever. Get it done.
I came out of my seat. I came out of my seat on the last pitch of the sequence when he threw a 97-mile-an-hour fastball to freeze somebody, and he's got to be able to throw that fastball, command it, because he throws 97, he throws 98 at times. He can sink the ball. He can run the ball. Yeah, that's gigantic for him. He has to set up that slider or sweep or whatever it is with a commanded fastball, and it was. In a lot of ways, I think it was ingenious by Rob Thomson to drop him down, and for a while after he struggled, put him in the 6th inning, put him in the 5th inning, put him early in the game to get his act together, to get his confidence back, to get that fastball to be commanded better. And when he started pitching better, then he started to drift back into more leverage situations. And yesterday was a huge leverage situation that he brought him in, because he was at the height of his confidence and ability to throw that fastball. And I think that's the beauty of what Rob Thomson could bring to the table. It's a subtle thing, but it's a big one, is that he put the kid in a position to be ready to handle that spot. And he came through for him. And hopefully that elevates him as far as his overall confidence, number one, and 2, his role in that situation, because it's a big one. And he's important, man. He's got the stuff to do it. And I think he's got the gumption to do it. Mm-hmm. But the issue is he's got to command that fastball. If he doesn't do that consistently, then he's not going to be able to do it.
And I think he's got to – when you say fastball, you're talking to 4-seamer, because I think that sinker is really huge.
I'm talking about both. He's got both. He's got to be able to throw that. He threw some sinkers. He threw some 4-seamers. The sinker's a huge one for him, because
you got to get something going the other way. Yes.
Yeah, he's got to split. You're right on it, Jim. He's got to be able to split it.
2 nights earlier, the last batter he faced, opening game against the Cardinals, he threw a sinker in on a right-hander, and it was like 95 or change. And then he went with the slider sweeper away, 95 and change. It was like 2 different ways, and you're like, and they were both down. And you're like, okay. So, yeah, and I agree with you. I think he's got the gumption. He's got some, as they say, some gravel in his gut. He's got a lot of good ingredients to pitch at the end of games. If he can ascend there, build on this little run he's on, you really got something. That said, I still want him to go out and strengthen the back of that bullpen and create a powerhouse bullpen.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. I'd love to have it. The fact that what I see from Matt Strom, who was just incredible last year, doesn't have the same finish on his pitches. Doesn't, you can see that I think his velocity is maybe a half a mile or 2 or a mile down, just a tick. And he's got great finish usually, but doesn't have the same sort of dominant fastball. that he's had in the past. And I'm wondering where he's going to end up getting it back. So you're going to need, man, I'd love to have another arm back there, especially since Romano's starting to, throw the ball real well. We can talk about him too.
Yeah, let's talk about Romano right after these words.
Hey, FT fam. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit, Cam, because we're busy and we would like all of the ingredients to cook up something nice and make us look like elite chefs at home.
You know what I do? I've got kids in basketball, I've got soccer, I've got baseball. And when they get home, there's a fresh meal and they think, "Oh, Dad, he's so great." Well, no, it's not me. It's HelloFresh. It's nutritious. It's packed full of good nutrients. The kids have good energy, and they look at me like I'm the greatest dad in the world. So make sure you go grab that HelloFresh because you know what? It's doing my family all the good.
Cook up dishes like chicken Dijon and pecan crusted trout, over 100 seasonal snacks, sides, and treats as well. Feel great with meals that fit your spring schedule and make the season even more delicious. Go to HelloFresh.com/FT10FM now to get 10 free meals with a free item for life. 1 per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan.
Welcome back. So yeah, Ryan Kerkering gets out of the 8th inning, and it sets up Jordan Romano to come in and pitch the 9th with a 2-1 lead, and he blows away the Cardinals. He strikes out Ivan Herrera swinging on a 2-2 slider, Nolan Gorman swinging on a 1-2 fastball, and he finishes the game striking out Alec Burleson swinging on an 0-2 slider. Jordan Romano, last 6 appearances. Remember what we were talking about Jordan Romano about a month ago? His last 6 appearances, 6 innings, 3 hits allowed, no runs, no walks, 8 strikeouts, 3 saves. If Kerkering and Romano are getting going, man, that kind of changes a lot for how you look about this, how you feel about this bullpen.
You're seeing confidence build. Sometimes it takes a little time. I was thinking about this, and I've thought about this a lot over the years. You ask guys like Orion, Kerkering, and Jordan Romano to get really big outs in games, important outs, in the final 6-8 outs of the game in that pocket, and they report to spring training with the rest of the team, and sometimes they get they're getting huge important outs. They're getting like the fewest innings in spring training. I know they're getting their bullpen work. I know they can do live BP, backfield. I don't think it's the same.
Oh, it's not the same.
Yeah, it ain't close to the same. And I just wonder, and it's a fine line. You don't want to get them too much in spring training because you want to keep them strong for the long haul. But I just wonder if a lot of times some of these leverage guys, not all of them, because we see guys coming out firing and doing really well, Alvarado, but sometimes it takes relievers a little longer, certain relievers a little longer to get ready coming out of spring training because the intensity and the workload is just not there.
And let's just talk about it. It's baseball, and it's not just baseball, but it's baseball. Guys go through different pockets of confidence and talent and success. And so sometimes you're just not on your game or you don't feel comfortable. I mean, when you're at the plate and you're feeling good and you're seeing the ball, it doesn't matter. The guy can throw the nastiest split and the filthiest cutters in the world, and I can get my barrel to it. But when I'm not, and I'm thinking about things and I'm not feeling comfortable and confident, I just can't. It's just like the same way. You feel fluid and relaxed when you're on the mound and you're firing. If you're not confident about your stuff, it ain't going to happen. Yep. And sometimes it takes a little time. In Romano's case, I think his mechanics were messed up. I think that he was tipping some pitches. There was a bunch of things going on. He wasn't quite ready for the season, hitting on all cylinders. He was in a new environment, all different types of stuff going on. For Kerkering, it's a new role. Now, all of a sudden, they're counting on him. Okay, he was in the 6th and 7th. He was important, but not that important. Now he becomes more important. Now the responsibility is different. I watch and I think Kerkering, and I think of Ryan Madson, and I think of how Ryan Madson sort of developed and he started off as a starter. Now Kerkering was always a reliever, but Madson goes from starter to the bullpen, and then 2 or 3 years later is when Madson really came forward, I mean, Ryan Madson was throwing like a 94, 95 mile an hour fastball when he first started in the bullpen. Well, by the time he became Ryan Madson for the Phillies and we won the World Series, the man was throwing 96, 97, 98 because he was confident, he was fluid, he believed in his stuff. There's a whole different demeanor once you start having confidence in that role. And I feel like Kerkering can get there and be that guy, but it just takes some time.
Look at when that 08 team took off. I think it was mid-August, and it coincided with Ryan Madson taking off. Yeah. And all of a sudden they had an incredible two-headed monster in that bullpen. It was game over.
So J.C. Romero was dealing, and he was feeling confident. He lost his confidence when he was pitching in with the Angels in Boston and whatever. And then he started gaining confidence, and so did Madsen, and was and Lidge was like off the hook.
Well, Ruben, last night or yesterday on X, you mentioned that you thought Romano's slider had some fell a little lidge.
I did say that.
Yeah,
the
shape of it, or what?
It was the shape of it. I mean, the swing and the miss. I mean, they were missing that slider by like this much.
Yeah,
I mean, they were missing it by a lot. And so that means to me that it's got the kind of depth and it has the kind of deception, because he was throwing that rising fastball, which he does, and which he did when he was closing for Toronto and having success, and then backing it up with the spin on that slider. That slider, and I don't know the numbers, and I don't have the numbers. I don't even know if they had the numbers back then when Lidge was throwing it, but that was a very similar shape to the slider. It was literally a 12-6er.
Yeah.
So sliders typically go 11-5 or 10-4 or whatever you want to, in that kind of an angle. This was going straight down, man. And you cannot, as a hitter, I mean, I always felt like the curveball was the toughest pitch for me because of the plane that it goes through, like the 12-6 plane. Right. You know, Greg Olson's curveball I couldn't hit, no chance, and I couldn't hit Drabek's breaking ball, the older Drabek, because their breaking ball was a spin down. That's the toughest one to hit because it's cutting straight down the plane, and I really felt like that's what I saw in Romano's slider. I don't know if he's going to do it every time out, but if he does, holy smokes!
I mean, everybody used to think Lidge's slider was a hard splitter because it was that late boom, but it was a slider. It was a tight, downward break, and it was really one of the most unique sliders in the game, right there with CC Sabathia, and Jabba Chamberlain had a slider like that too. It didn't go lateral. It went down. You're looking at it, but he's a slider. Brad Lidge, incredibly strong forearms. He could torque that ball, man. And if Romano wants to start doing that regularly,
that's the shape I saw.
Yeah, that's I still love that pitch. One of the most, really, honestly,
one of the most dominant pitches in the game.
You
could tell people it was coming, and you could not hit it.
One of the most, honestly, when you think about the history of this ball club, one of the most famous pitches in the history and important pitches in the history of this ball club, right there with Carlton's back foot slider. I'm telling you, because they won a World Series. Yeah. He was one of the pillars of the team that won the World Series, and it was, that pitch was so important to his 48 season.
No doubt.
So, kind of a behind the scenes thing. So after game one, we're down in the post game press conference, and I asked Rob Thomson, and I say, do you see Romano's confidence growing, continuing to kind of grow over the last few? And he says, I'm going to tell you something. People say this front office didn't make any moves. Well, that was a huge move for this ball club. He's getting better and better. His fastball, his slider, his changeup. And he said a couple other things. And I'm sitting there going, oh, crap. Is this guy throwing it? Romano doesn't throw a changeup. He misheard me. He thought I said Luzardo. So you're going to see some quotes out there today. I'm going, wow, this is a bold comment from Rob. He must be really fired up about Jordan Romano. And then I realized that he misheard me. Luzardo, Romano. So if you see any quotes today of Rob saying this really bold comment in regards to Jordan Romano, he misheard me.
I think he knows that the opposing team, they read your stories, Todd, and he's trying to put that in the back of their mind that this guy's now throwing a changeup.
Changeup. Ooh, he's throwing a changeup?
But I I was sitting there. I didn't really hear anything after that. I was going, what? Romano, change up. Anyway, Matt Gelb goes, I think he misheard you because he doesn't throw a change up like, okay, thank God. I thought I was an idiot.
Along those lines, I mean, I actually posted that in sarcastically. Well, but they ran it back, and I posted. I got trolled for it.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is this: when you add a player like Luzardo and potentially a closer in a guy like Romano who can do some things that are pretty special, think about that. What that does for your team. I'm just talking overall. You're talking about 20% of your rotation, okay, 20% of your games.
Yeah.
And in a quality of a guy like Luzardo, okay, I don't know how many quality starts you're going to end up with. He's probably going to end up like 18 to 22. But you have that, and then you couple that with a guy like Romano who could end up, getting 25 to 30 saves, however it works out. But whatever, an effective guy that helps you win baseball games, then you're not running it back. That's not running it back. And people say, well, the lineup is very similar. Yes. And you have a different left fielder, but you're not necessarily running it back. And that's what sort of frustrates me as an ex-GM that, yes, I mean, did they want to make some moves at third base? Did we do some X, Y, and Z? Well, it didn't pan out and didn't happen, but they didn't bring back the same exact team. That's all I'm saying.
I think it just a lot of people just had no idea how good Luzardo was because they'd maybe seen him pitch 3 times against the Phillies. I don't know how many times he faced the Phillies in his career, but probably wasn't a lot. I know he pitched for the Marlins. I know he pitched against them, opened up the wild card series a couple of years ago, but you don't see a guy pitch a lot. You see the numbers. He didn't have a great record with the Marlins. He was like 11-11 that year when he pitched well. I mean, you go like, oh, is this guy any good? Well, he's been really, really good.
Really good. And when he's healthy, he's really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
Like top 15 starters good.
And that sweeper has really he's skyrocketed. I mean, what a great addition to his repertoire. I mean, he's been just dominant.
And a credit to their staff for helping him through it. Caleb Gotham and others. I mean, I like the guy.
Fantastic. Clearly. So a couple things we're going to wrap up. Kyle Schwarber's on-base streak ended in Game 2. 47-game on-base streak did not get on, or I'm sorry, after Game 1 it ended, did not get on base in Game 1. I just wanted to mention this. I looked this up. So then he homers in Game 2.
Yeah.
And so
he's going again. Another new streak.
He has maybe started a new streak. The last time Kyle Schwarber has not gotten on base in 2 or more consecutive games, July 22nd, July 23rd of last season. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, which
is also the reason why he was leading off.
Yeah. I mean, that's just wild to me. So I wanted to mention that the Pittsburgh Pirates come to town on Friday. I'll run through the pitching matchups real quick. Friday night, 6:45, Rangers Suarez, Andrew Haney. Saturday, 6:05, Zach Wheeler, Carmen Miedziński. I should know this. That sounds like
Miedziński.
Miedziński.
It's an MLO or something.
Yeah. And then Sunday is Christopher Sanchez versus Paul Skeens. So that will be the Skeener will be out there on Sunday afternoon. So
does he live? Is Liv going to be there?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's not too far from Pittsburgh.
Check out the restaurants here.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, maybe a little better scene than Pittsburgh. No offense. But guys, we'll be back. We got another show coming on Friday. If you want to ask us a question, throw it in the comment section on YouTube, throw it in the comment section on X, Instagram, anywhere, and we will try to get some questions on Friday. And I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow then on Friday.
That's right.
Looking forward to it. And for now, I will smell you later.
Smell you, Jim.
The Philly Show is brought to you by the Foul Territory Network. Subscribe to The Philly Show on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. If you like us, give us a review. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook, and Threads. Find Ruben's analysis before, during, and after Phillies games on NBC Sports Philadelphia, on the Sports Radio 94 WIP Morning Show, and MLB Network. Find Jim at allphly.com. Find me at MLB.com, the Phillies Beat newsletter, and MLB Network.